Bonjour à tous et bienvenue sur la page Facebook d'AlloCiné. J'ai la chance aujourd'hui d'être avec Daneil Gillies qui joue Elijah dans The Vampire Diaries et The Originals. N'hésitez pas à nous laisser des commentaires et des questions. J'essaierai de sélectionner une partie des questions et de lui poser durant l'interview. Donc l'interview se déroulera en deux parties. D'abord, je vais lui poser donc des questions sur la série et après, à la fin, il nous parlera d'une action humanitaire qu'il va mener cet été en Ouganda avec l'organisation Oxfam qui nous accueille aujourd'hui dans ses locaux à Paris. So while we wait for the first questions from the fans, I'll ask you a first question. When you started playing Elijah 7 years ago on The Vampire Diaries, I guess you could have never imagined that you would stay on the show for 2 years and then you'd get your own spin-off. How do you look back on this whole crazy ride?
I must confess, I had an instinct that the character would last a little while when I first read the pages. I don't know why I felt that when I first read him that it would be something that would endure.
Okay. Donc j'ai demandé à Daneil Gillies si en fait il y a 7 ans quand il a commencé à jouer Elijah, s'il pouvait penser que ça allait durer autant d'années, qu'il aurait ensuite son propre spin-off. Et il m'a dit que bizarrement oui, en fait quand il a lu les premiers scripts, il a tout de suite eu la sensation que c'est un personnage qui allait pouvoir rester longtemps dans la série et durer jusqu'à plusieurs années, plusieurs saisons. What do you like the most about your character and playing him on the show?
Man, there are a lot of things I enjoy about playing him. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. He has wonderful poise. Do you know this word? Yeah, he has wonderful poise and grace. I do not. He has wonderful dignity and restraint. I have neither of those things. He's funny, and he's incredibly devoted to the things he loves. I do have the last one, devoted to the things I love.
Okay. Thank you. Donc j'ai demandé à Daneil ce qui lui plaisait le plus dans le personnage d'Elijah et dans le fait de le jouer à l'écran, et donc il m'a répondu que c'est un personnage qui a beaucoup de classe, de stature, qui a beaucoup de dignité, des choses qu'il dit ne pas avoir. Et aussi le fait qu'il soit très marrant et aussi très respectueux. Et ça, il dit que par contre, c'est un trait de caractère que lui a. Season 4 ends tonight on the CW in the US, and it's available in France on demand. Can you tease anything about the final battle against the Holo?
I can. I'll see if I can remember. It feels like a very long time ago that we filmed this, but what I can say is, let's do that. There's nothing worse than the sound of my own voice. Trust me, if you want to end this interview, play me my voice. By the way, can you just do a camera pan to this? Can you show the fans? Like, look at this. I just landed in Paris, and this is what I'm looking at. I'm in this courtyard in the middle of Paris. And we're being hosted by the wonderful people of Oxfam here to do. Look down this way too. Look down, pan down there. To me, I mean, I don't know. I live in Los Angeles, so this to me looks like the gates of heaven. It's this little utopian corner. Anyway, sorry, have I spoken too much? Do you need to translate?
No, you can.
Okay. So, what was I talking about? Oh, teasing the show, the finale. Yes. Well, there's a sacrifice that needs to be made in order for the family to survive, and in fact in order for Hope, the niece, to be saved, and that involves a pact that the family have to make, which might mean the complete end of the Michelson family.
Thank you. Donc j'ai demandé à Daneil, qui vous a donc montré l'endroit où on est, qu'il trouve assez extraordinaire. Je lui ai demandé de nous teaser le final de la saison 4 de The Originals, qui passe ce soir sur la CW aux États-Unis. Et donc en gros, il m'a dit que ce serait donc le combat contre The Holo, et que un sacrifice allait devoir être fait par la famille pour essayer de venir à bout de The Holo, et aussi qu'il allait y avoir une histoire de pacte qui allait peut-être mettre fin à la famille Michelson. Donc voilà, si vous voulez tout savoir, regardez le final qui est disponible en France sur MyTF1 VOD dès demain. We have a question from Thanks. From Dorcas, who is asking you, is Elijah going to get together with Ailey eventually, soon maybe?
Probably not in the short term, because I think because it's the finale, we're going to be the battle is for our lives and not for our love just now.
Ok. Donc j'ai posé une question de Dorcas qui nous demandait si Elijah allait finir par se mettre avec la mère de Hope, qui est Hailey. Et en gros, Daneil dit que ce sera pas pour tout de suite. En fait, pour l'instant, il y a un combat qui doit être mené contre The Hollow et l'histoire d'amour viendra sûrement après, sûrement à la fin de la série. Hop. There are a lot of fans who are saying hi.
Hi.
You are meeting fans from Vampire Diaries and the originals tomorrow for a convention.
Yes.
Do you have maybe an anecdote about a fan that maybe was a little bit too invested in the show, maybe a little bit crazy?
I have beaucoup. I have many. Too many. The one that I always go to is in Brazil, the fans have a particular level of passion. In Sao Paulo, not this year but last year, they followed us from the convention back to our hotel in our car. I remember the driver who was driving us from the convention center to the hotel suddenly started speeding and zipping in and out of traffic, and for whatever reason, the fans were following us in a car, and I suddenly felt like Matt Damon in The Bourne Identity. It was the coolest I've ever felt, and that's about. I think I remember that one particularly because it was frightening the way that we were sort of driving to escape. But that's about the extent of it. I'm sure that Ian's got some really peculiar ones.
Donc j'ai demandé, en fait demain Daneil va rencontrer comme vous le savez peut-être, des fans de Vampire Diaries et The Originals à une convention de fans à Paris. Et donc je lui ai demandé s'il avait une anecdote à propos d'un fan qui avait peut-être une fois été un peu trop loin, qui a peut-être été un peu trop investi dans les personnages et les avait peut-être suivis dans la rue. Et il m'a raconté que notamment au Brésil, les fans sont vraiment très très à fond sur la série, et que l'an dernier, après une convention, en fait, il y a eu un groupe de fans qui a suivi le taxi des acteurs. Et il me racontait qu'il avait un peu l'impression d'être Matt Damon dans The Bourne Identity. Et il m'a dit que Ian Somerhalder avait sûrement plein d'anecdotes à ce sujet à nous raconter. We had a question from someone, I forgot the name, sorry, who was asking you what was the hardest scene that you had to shoot on an emotional level?
All of them. They're all difficult. The show is always played so dramatically. The stakes are always so incredibly high. It's been interesting to play a role like this for so long, because it's you practice daily with scenes that seem to be life and death. I always seem to be doing it with a huge emotional pitch. I think what's going to be strange for me is after this to play characters where every scene I might not die. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe that gives me anxiety. I mean, I'm wondering if you are going to kill me right now. That's how much anxiety I live in. He looks. Does he not look threatening to you? I'm suspicious. Now I'm going back to my Matt Damon.
Donc j'ai posé une de vos questions à Daneil, qui était de savoir quelle scène avait été la plus dure à tourner pour lui émotionnellement. Et il me disait en fait toutes les scènes sont assez dures à tourner parce qu'en fait il est quasiment toujours question de vie ou de mort dans la série. Enfin voilà, c'est une série sur des vampires et il a toujours l'impression qu'il va mourir, et il dit que d'un côté il a envie de savoir ce qu'il va pouvoir tourner après la série, parce que justement il sera sûrement plus question de vie ou de mort et il sera enfin tranquille. And on that note, since everybody seems to die so often on the show, is it, at a certain point, do you feel like you can never really die, never get off the show?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've died. I can't even count anymore. I used to have a count on it. I mean, it's got to be 8 or 10 times I've died. I don't know any. I honestly can't remember. Yeah, there's a degree of immunity or immortality that I kind of believe I have. I mean, the only thing that I think can slay me now is poor ratings.
J'ai demandé à Daniel si justement le fait que les personnages meurent si souvent et finissent toujours par revenir, à un moment ça devenait pas un peu... Enfin, vous avez pas un peu l'impression que finalement ils pourraient jamais mourir et jamais quitter la série. Et il me dit que si, justement. Et I have a question. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still jet lagged from I can't believe I'm here.
You directed your first episode this year.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? And how was it to... I know this year you have a young actress, Summer Fontana, on the show playing Hope. Is it hard to like direct such a young actress and to like do scary scenes when you have such a young kid on set?
Well, I mean, not particularly. She's actually Summer Fontana is actually 47 years old. She's just very, very small. She's really old, but I'm joking. That's a joke. It's my humor's not really translating in France. So, yeah, no, she's it wasn't that difficult. What's difficult is the convention that they've built. They've built a convention where she's the most powerful woman, powerful creature in our mythology, but because of the censorship of the show, because the network the show's on, we can't expose this child actress to gratuitous violence within a shot. So it's this strange conundrum and problem that we've built for ourselves.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, we can't, you know.
Donc j'ai demandé, Daniel a réalisé cette année son premier épisode de The Originals. Donc je lui demandais comment ça s'est passé, notamment le fait qu'il y ait une jeune actrice maintenant, Summer Fontana, qui joue Hope Michelson. Non, okay. Et donc je lui demandais comment ça s'est passé de devoir diriger une actrice aussi jeune, notamment avec le fait qu'il y ait plein de scènes assez effrayantes, des scènes avec des vampires. Et il me racontait qu'en fait ce qui est compliqué, c'est que son personnage Hope est censé être la créature la plus puissante de l'univers de la série. Et qu'à cause de la CW, qui est quand même une chaîne très axée ado, voilà, il doit faire attention à ce qu'il tourne, il ne faut pas qu'il y ait des scènes trop violentes, et que ça, c'est un peu compliqué à gérer quand on a une jeune actrice. And how was it to like direct your castmates? Was it easy to like change, not being an actor, but be the director of the episode?
Well, it wasn't easy, but then again, I'm pretty demanding. I like to ask a lot of actors. I actually like to be asked a lot of as an actor. Like I like when a director really challenges me. So I walked in with perhaps the false assumption that people like to be treated the same as me as an actor. So I made lots of demands of them as an actor with every scene. But I think that the performances are really good in the show, and I feel like people can sense that. And it's really the most important thing.
Yeah, thanks. Donc j'ai demandé à Daniel comment ça s'est passé justement de passer derrière la caméra et diriger les acteurs avec qui il joue d'habitude. Et il me disait que lui, en tant qu'acteur, il aime bien qu'un réalisateur lui demande beaucoup en fait. Et donc il s'est dit que ça allait être pareil pour les autres acteurs. Donc il a pas hésité. Il est vraiment devenu réalisateur. Il leur a demandé de donner le maximum d'eux-mêmes. Et il dit vraiment que c'est un casting assez extraordinaire. Donc il est content de travailler avec eux. We have a question from Liz. Sorry. She's asking you.
People are watching.
You okay? I think right now 300.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah. So Liz is asking you, what is your funniest memory from the set?
I can't really think of anything specific. I'm always laughing on that show. I'm always laughing because it's a ridiculous thing, playing a vampire. It's ridiculous. Like what am I doing? So of course I always feel silly. The more severe a scene is, the more gratuitously serious it is, the more I just want to laugh my ass off.
Okay. Donc j'ai posé une question de Lise qui lui demandait quelle était en fait la scène qui a été le plus drôle à tourner sur toute la série. Et elle dit qu'en fait la plupart sont assez marrantes puisqu'en fait lorsqu'on tourne des choses assez sérieuses, assez sombres, comme c'est le cas dans la série, finalement, ça donne envie plutôt de rigoler sur le tournage. There are a lot of rumors about the future of the show. Some people say that maybe season 5 will be the last one. We've heard also that Candice Accola, who plays Caroline, may join the show in season 5, that there may be another spin-off centered on Hope. Do you know anything about all this?
I don't know anything. I don't know. Bonsoir. Nice to meet you. You know, I don't know anything. Wait, what do I know? What do I know? Nothing's set in stone yet, but there are talks of rumors, and it's just rumors, and maybe this is a big spoiler. But Elijah may or may not be opening a chain of tanning salons this season. No, it's true. Yeah. Well, you can laugh, but there's a someone, you know, I shouldn't name names. Let's just say that his name rhymes with Maus Zykelson. Has to as a contestant on The Bachelorette. We're going to do an amazing crossover somewhere mid-season. I can't name which character it is. It's definitely Klaus. All right.
Might do a nice spin-off. Donc en fait j'ai demandé à Daniel s'il pouvait nous dire quoi que ce soit sur le fait qu'il y ait pas mal de rumeurs autour de la série. On parle du fait que la saison 5 pourrait être la dernière, que Caroline de Vampire Diaries pourrait rejoindre la série la saison prochaine, ou alors qu'il pourrait y avoir un nouveau spin-off centré sur Hope. Et évidemment il n'a rien le droit de dire, donc il m'a juste dit évidemment en rigolant que la saison prochaine Elijah allait ouvrir une chaîne de comment on dit en français d'UV, voilà, une chaîne de salon d'UV, et qu'il y aurait aussi un personnage qu'il ne peut pas nommer qui allait devenir candidat dans le Bachelor. Donc voilà, évidemment, tout ça n'est pas... Yeah, we won't reveal. I'm going to see if we have another question. Oh yeah, there's a funny question.
That'd be funny.
Dimitri is asking, how can I say this? Do actors who act on both shows, the Vampire Diaries and the originals, do they need to be like handsome? Is it in the contract?
No, I'm on it.
Donc j'ai posé une question de Dimitri qui demandait s'il fallait être beau pour jouer dans les deux séries, puisqu'on le sait, sur la CW quasiment tous les acteurs sont assez magnifiques, et Daniel a répondu non, puisque je suis dans la série.
I was going to ask you, when we start to talk about Oxfam,
Yeah, now.
you're going to get no. I'm not saying when we do.
Yes.
At the time when we do, we're going to appropriate as much time to Oxfam as we are to the.
If you want.
I love it. No, I'm just asking. I'm not pressuring you. Did you see the fear? Did you see the fear that
No,
descended
but they
on
told
you?
me like 20 minutes. So I don't know.
No problem. You can, hey, I've got nowhere to
But
go.
if you have time, I have
Of
time.
course, I have all the time in the world. I'm just a bully.
Marine is asking, what can you tell us about your next movie, The Lost Woman of Robert Durst?
The Lost Wife of
yes.
Lost Wife of Robert Durst. I just finished filming yesterday. Actually, I can tell you that it's the story of the relationship between Kathleen or Kathy Durst and Robert Durst from the period of 1972 through to 1982 is where the movie concentrates. It's about the events and the marriage and the relationship which ultimately led to her disappearance and some believe murder. And it's a sort of it's a portrait of that marriage, and it's based largely on historical fact.
Ok. Donc Marine demandait à Daniel qu'est-ce qu'il pouvait nous dire sur son prochain film qui s'appelle The Lost Wife of Robert Durst. Et donc il m'a dit qu'il avait terminé le tournage hier en fait, et que le film s'intéressait donc à la relation entre Robert Durst et sa femme Katie au XVIIIe siècle, au XXe siècle pardon. Et donc oui, le tournage s'est terminé hier et c'est vraiment centré sur le mariage, sur l'histoire d'amour. Et je pense que donc le film sortira l'année prochaine. Is the movie coming out next year, I think?
Maybe the end of this year, but I'm not sure.
Ok.
Yeah, I think the end of this year.
Donc le film sortira même normalement peut-être à la fin de cette année. Maybe before switching to Oxfam, one last question about the originals. How long do you see the show like continue after season 4?
I would say we're not going to go longer than 17 seasons at this rate, and I'll have no less than 372 deaths in those 17 seasons. But I don't know. I always feel like it's the last season. I always feel like we're at the end, and I'm always wrong. So the rule here is whatever I say at the end of the season, it's a lie, it's incorrect. Just don't listen to me.
Donc j'ai demandé à Daniel combien de temps encore il se voyait jouer dans la série. Et d'abord il m'a dit 17 saisons et qu'il espérait mourir 700 fois au cours des 17 saisons. C'est possible, on sait jamais. Et plus sérieusement, en fait, il nous disait ce qui est vrai, c'est que tous les ans la série est un peu en danger d'annulation. Et finalement, elle finit toujours par revenir. Donc en fait, il n'en sait rien. Enfin, on verra bien.
Don't listen to me. Whatever I say, it's the opposite.
Mais en gros, voilà, il faut pas écouter ce qu'il nous dit. En gros, la vérité est sûrement l'opposé de ce qu'il nous dit. Let's talk about Oxfam now. You're going to do a trip to Uganda this summer.
Yes.
To visit refugees camps.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us about it, about why this is so important to you?
Yeah, there's so many reasons why, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak about it. I'm going to make a trip in a few weeks' time to northern Uganda, to a refugee settlement by the name of Bidi Bidi, which is actually the largest refugee settlement in the world right now, with 270,000 inhabitants.
Yeah,
I'll just do it.
Yeah, sure. Donc j'ai demandé maintenant à Daniel de nous parler de sa mission humanitaire qu'il va effectuer cet été. En fait, il va faire un voyage en Ouganda avec Oxfam, donc l'organisation qui nous accueille aujourd'hui, et il va donc aller visiter le camp de Bidi Bidi, right? Bidi Bidi, en Ouganda, qui est aujourd'hui donc le plus grand camp de réfugiés en fait au monde, et avec, je crois, how many refugees?
270,000.
200 700 réfugiés dans ce camp.
Yeah, it's the largest refugee settlement in the world. 1.4 million refugees have fled to neighboring countries, and Uganda right now boasts the greatest support essentially for refugees. It's offering them like plots of land, opportunities of education for the children, and even it's limited, but it's healthcare, and it's been incredibly gracious in leading the way and offering the refugees something, because South Sudan right now is kind of horrific.
Thanks. Donc il nous a expliqué que en fait il y a plus d'1 million, 1,4 million, je crois, 1,4 million personnes qui ont donc fui en fait le sud du Soudan pour se réfugier en Ouganda. Et aujourd'hui c'est donc l'Ouganda qui leur permet qui leur offre des terres en fait pour vivre, de la nourriture, des soins. Et donc il va aller visiter ces camps cet été.
The reason personally that I wanted to do this was because I live in the United States. Our news right now is incredibly schizophrenic, fragmented, and frivolous, incredibly frivolous. I don't even want to get into the politics of what we're going through right now. I'm not sure if France is the same, but our news has become fucking bullshit, and it's not focusing on anything important. And what South Sudan is facing right now, and several of its neighboring countries in Africa right now are facing, is the largest humanitarian crisis that the world's ever seen, and we're, at least in the United States, I can only speak for the United States, and we're not speaking about it in our press, So I thought it would be important. I didn't think. I know it's important to go with this incredible organization of Oxfam into this, into Bidi Bidi and several other places in Uganda, and I just want to sit and I want to talk with refugees. I want to talk with them about the circumstances from which they fled. I want to talk to them about the situation and the context that they find themselves in now, and I want to talk to them about their desires for the future. I just want to listen to them, and I want to film that, you know, like you're doing right in here with this, and I want to do it Facebook Live, and I want to use my social media, and I want to put that into the world, because I think that that's more important, that I listen. I want to be a student of them and to listen to them and to give them a voice, because I feel like Western media in particular is not granting them the dignity of that platform. Did I speak for too long? Sorry.
I'll try to translate everything. Donc Daniel m'a expliqué un peu les raisons vraiment qui le poussent à faire ce voyage humanitaire. Il me disait qu'en fait aujourd'hui le contexte aux États-Unis fait qu'il a l'impression que les informations ne parlent pas des choses vraiment importantes. C'est assez frivole. Voilà, on ne parle pas de certaines crises qui se passent dans le monde. Il a notamment l'impression que justement la crise au Soudan est quelque chose dont on parle vraiment assez peu aux informations. Et donc en fait, il a envie d'aller visiter ces camps, d'aller parler aux réfugiés pour savoir ce qui les a poussés à fuir le Soudan, pour connaître leur situation actuelle dans les camps, connaître aussi leurs désirs, ce qu'ils espèrent pour le futur plutôt. Et donc il fera des Facebook Live, il va parler avec eux vraiment pour sensibiliser le monde et les gens, et ses fans aussi, parce que c'est aussi l'intérêt, c'est que ses fans vont pouvoir voir tout ça et vraiment faire parler de cette crise qui est, c'est ce qu'il nous dit, c'est vraiment la crise humanitaire la plus énorme qui ait touché l'histoire du monde. I hope I translated.
I know, and you know what? You can just if I say too much, you stop me and let me know, and I'll hand it over. I apologize. I get this is what I kind of want to talk about more than the show, by far. Look, there are 3 million people, have lost their homes and their lives. This civil war in South Sudan is not going anywhere fast. I mean, they believe since December 2013, something like 50,000 people have lost their lives. They don't know the true numbers is the truth. They don't know because there's no way to count. Like it's impossible to get eyes in there. Even when people are fleeing, they can't even travel on the main roads because they're scared of both the government militia and they're scared of the rebels, So it's an incredibly difficult situation, and I'll let you translate that.
Thank you. Donc il nous expliquait qu'il y a plus de 3 millions de personnes qui ont finalement perdu leur foyer, et que l'un des vrais soucis, c'est qu'il est en fait assez compliqué de pouvoir compter le nombre de morts en fait dans les conflits qui touchent le Soudan. Et I forgot.
It's okay. I said so much. What are you?
I translated 3 million people who lost their
homes,
home, and the fact that you can count the...
Yeah, and they estimate that something like 50,000 have lost their lives in the conflict since December 2013.
Okay. Donc en fait, on estime qu'il y a plus de 50 000 personnes qui ont perdu la vie dans les conflits qui touchent le sud du Soudan.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is, and another reason why I'm doing this is because I'm a new father. I have a 3.5-year-old and a daughter and a 2-year-old son, and I know that when we talk about this historically, in a few years' time, we're going to talk about this as being a terrible, terrible time and something that most of us ignored. And I just didn't want to be part of that ignorance. I wanted to say something. And look, of the refugees, it's close to 68% are children, or what we would classify as children. 68% of them are kids, and now we're sort of parentless. And I mean, the schools in South Sudan are virtually obsolete because teachers are either being murdered or they're being captured or fleeing for their lives. So schools are just no longer exist. It's a desperate situation, as I've said many times. Again, what I don't want to focus on too much is the desperation. What I want to do is give voice to the refugees we meet. I want to hear about their strategies for emerging from the crisis, and I want to encourage people in the West as much as possible to use their social media too, to have this conversation, to have this dialogue. Look, I'll let you say this and then I'll say one more thing.
Donc en fait, il m'expliquait aussi qu'une des raisons qui le pousse à faire ça, c'est que ça le touche aussi personnellement, parce qu'il est devenu père récemment. Et il nous disait qu'en fait, il n'a pas envie que ce soit un conflit qui soit oublié de l'histoire. Il a vraiment envie qu'on en parle, que ça marque les mémoires des gens. Et aussi le fait qu'il y ait 68% des réfugiés qui soient des enfants, que dans le sud du Soudan, voilà, il y a quasiment plus d'éducation. Enfin, c'est vraiment quelque chose qui le touche. Et il a vraiment donc envie d'aller parler aux réfugiés, de mettre en avant leur histoire, ce qu'ils ont vécu.
The United Nations has asked for something like, I believe it's $1.4 billion in US, for international aid to help in assisting this crisis, and they've been met with less than 1/3 of that. Even though it's as desperate as it is, and I think that again, these conversations might help to generate some kind of collective whereby we could at least make contributions of our own, that don't rely on the international help, which has been incredibly slow to help these countries. I mean, it's one thing that Uganda is being as gracious as it is, but but it also needs help, especially when 2,000 people are leaving the South Sudanese borders every day, on average, right now. Sorry.
Yeah. Donc là, Daneil nous disait qu'en fait, il y a plus d'1 milliard de dollars aux États-Unis qui sont normalement dédiés à cette cause humanitaire, et finalement, il y en a qu'un tiers qui est vraiment arrivé jusque là-bas. Et yeah, about that. Maybe one last question. Do you feel like when you are an actor like you, we have many followers on social media, it's important to use this fame to talk about important things like that and to sensibilize people?
That's a lovely question, and actually at the end of this I should really give a link to donate to actually at the end of this. But no, it's important. It's not just important, it's the only real purpose, I think, for social media. Like someone a couple of years ago, I was doing I was actually working with a French organization called Action contre Femmes, and who are also really, really wonderful and are doing incredible work in the world, like Oxfam. And they sort of made me make an Instagram, and I was kind of rolled my eyes, but now I'm kind of so delighted that I did this, because I was able to leverage my following. I mean, to me, it's the only purpose of it. I have no other desires for my social media other than to use it as a platform to trampoline charitable ideas. And I mean, I think we're very, very lucky that we have these audiences. I'm surprised that other people with huge followings don't use it more often for these kinds of causes. That said, I'm going to say something right now. I want to push people onto a link. I'll talk a little bit about Oxfam in a second, because they're awesome. Actually, I'll talk about them right now. I mean, Oxfam's been around for around 70 years, I believe. 70 years. They work in over 90 different countries. They're essentially like an organization that's all about rebuilding communities, whether they're fighting for people in recovering from natural disasters to war-torn contexts and communities. They're people who will do anything from facilitate, irrigation for villages, to setting up, educational facilities, to sanitation and food and even basic healthcare for people all over the world. They're essentially, their fight is to eliminate poverty. That's what Oxfam is, and I love them.
Thanks. Donc j'ai demandé à Daneil d'abord dans un premier temps s'il pensait que c'est important pour un acteur qui a énormément de followers sur les réseaux sociaux de justement de se servir de ça et de sa célébrité pour sensibiliser à des actions humanitaires comme celle-ci. Et elle me disait que pour lui, en fait, il y a quelques années, il a collaboré avec Action contre la faim. Et on l'a un peu poussé à créer un compte Instagram. Au début, il était un peu réticent. Et finalement, il se rend compte qu'il a bien fait. Et pour lui, il pense que c'est finalement la seule utilité des réseaux sociaux pour les stars. C'est vraiment de sensibiliser à ce genre de cause. Et ensuite, donc, il m'a parlé un peu d'Oxfam, qui donc qui est né il y a 70 ans. Et qui est une organisation qui a vocation à rebâtir, on va dire, des communautés qui ont été brisées par la guerre, par la pauvreté. Et donc, si vous voulez en savoir plus sur Oxfam, n'hésitez pas à aller sur le site de l'organisation.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah,
there's a link to my name. If any of you feel so inclined to make a donation today, I know I'm going to after I've done this. I always, whenever I ask people to donate, I make a donation myself. You can go to let me see if I can remember this: www.oxfamamerica.org/Daneil Gillies. I think that's it. I think that I believe that. See if that comes to anything on my phone. I think on your phone. Does it work? Okay, good. Okay, you can go again www.oxfamamerica.org/Daneil Gillies to make a donation to the situation that we're discussing here, and every little bit counts. So thank you very much for humoring me and listening to me, and I'll keep you updated with my adventures in Uganda. Thank you.
Thanks. Et donc, si vous voulez en savoir plus sur l'action sur le voyage humanitaire de Daneil cet été et donner aussi donner des dons pour Oxfam, vous pouvez aller sur www.oxfamamerica.org/Daneil Gillies et vous saurez tout. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Lovely to meet you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Merci à tous de nous avoir suivis, merci à Oxfam de nous avoir accueillis ici, merci à Julien d'avoir cadré l'interview. Et à bientôt sur la page Facebook d'AlloCiné pour de nouvelles interviews en live et de nouvelles émissions. À bientôt, bye bye.